And we have some breaking news coming out of Ottawa this hour. Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly has announced that Canada is expelling Chinese diplomat Zhao Wei. Joly writing in a statement saying, "We will not tolerate any form of foreign interference in our internal affairs." You would recall last week it was reported that Zhao Wei was allegedly involved in threats against family members of Conservative MP Michael Chong. This breaking news is just coming into our newsroom. Let's bring in CTV's Glen McGregor for further details. Glen, good afternoon. We've been seeing there's been so much pressure on the government. The Prime Minister was repeatedly asked this question, and now the government taking action on declaring this diplomat persona non grata.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on the government to finally take this step, and Melanie Joly appeared before a parliamentary committee last week where she was asked repeatedly, including by Michael Chong, that's the Conservative MP, whose family in Hong Kong was allegedly targeted by this diplomat who works in the Chinese consulate in Toronto. And now during the committee, Joly warned that Canada had to consider the potential consequences. What kind of retaliation China might take? Could it be economic retaliation, some kind of trade measures? Could it affect consular relations? That is, dealing with Canadians who are in China. And we know that there are at least 3 Canadian citizens currently facing sentences of death for various crimes in China. Would this impede Canada's ability to intervene on their behalf? The one that is kind of at the most serious point right now is a man named Robert Schellenberger, who was convicted year before last of smuggling a large amount of methamphetamine in China and was sentenced to death. He received that penalty during the conflict between Canada and China over the detention of the 2 Michaels, which of course was China's response to Canada's decision to temporarily detain and then extradite Meng Wanzhou, the telecom executive who was wanted in the United States. So Joly's concern was that if we were to expel this diplomat from Canada, that China might retaliate in ways that could not be anticipated. However, pressure grew on her to do it, increasing questions. In fact, as she announced this via this statement that she had finally decided to declare Zhao Wei a persona non grata, that's diplomatic terminology for someone who was no longer wanted in the country and has to leave. MPs were voting on a Conservative motion to do exactly that. Liberal MPs actually, ironically, were voting against that motion. I think the principle there is they did not want those kind of decisions to be made by a vote in the House of Commons. That should always be the purview of the Foreign Affairs Minister. Nevertheless, Zhao Wei now is going to have a limited amount of time to get out of Dodge. He's got to leave the country, and we'll wait and see, Akshay, exactly how China responds.
Indeed, because this, as we know, Glenn, it's a very major step that a country takes when they declare, of course, a diplomat persona non grata. In this case, we've seen over the past so many years, Glenn, that relations between Canada and China have been pretty tense on a number of issues like you just mentioned. And as you pointed out, the Foreign Affairs Minister repeatedly say that we are evaluating the consequences of what China is expected to do. And in 2018, or maybe even just a little after that, we've been seeing for at least 3 or 4 years, Glenn, that there have been series of instances that have pointed towards Chinese interference, and today the government taking this big step.
It's been an amazingly rapid decline in Canada-China relations over the past 4 years. The trigger point certainly was the Meng Wanzhou case, but it wasn't that long before that. I remember going on a trip to China with the Prime Minister and his delegation, and they were talking with Chinese officials about starting up free trade negotiations. That's how much better the relationship looked back then compared to the way they are now. Now, the government has at its disposal a set of tools they can use to sanction diplomats. These are all governed by a Vienna Convention on the relationship between countries. They can summon an ambassador, as Melanie Joly did last week. The Chinese ambassador to Canada was brought in to meet her deputy minister and was given a stern talking to about the topic of Chinese interference. But the most extreme measure that can be taken is to PNG someone, to declare them persona non grata. That means they have to leave. Canada has not used this in recent memory. The last case I can remember possibly is a Russian diplomat maybe 20 years ago who was found to be drunk driving in downtown, or in a residential neighborhood in Ottawa, where a lot of embassies are located, and actually killed a woman. He was ultimately declared persona non grata, sent back to Russia. But it's extremely rare. But I think Joly is looking at the experiences of other countries in Europe, how they've dealt with Russian diplomats. Germany in particular has been aggressive about declaring certain Russian diplomats persona non grata and having them expelled as well. So we're going to have to wait and see what the repercussions will be.
Right.
I expect probably later tonight we'll hear from the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs in a press conference. They generally hold a briefing every morning, and they tend to respond, Akshay, to these kinds of issues in that form.
All right, Glenn, we'll leave it at that for now. Of course, tracking this big breaking news coming in from Ottawa. Appreciate that update, Glenn.